She's a fashion blogger, model, and entrepreneur.
She's amazing.
The latest tips on fashion, beauty, wellness, travel, and her lifestyle. And now, here's the founder and creator of Not Basic Blonde, Olasha.
Hi, Zibby. I'm so glad to have you on my podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being my guest, and you being such an incredible author, and you have so many great accomplishments. We would love to learn more about you. So would you please tell our listeners about yourself, your career? How did you become an author?
Sure. Well, I have a bunch of different careers at the moment, but everything circles around books, or centers around books, I should say. I am an author. But it all has started because of my podcast. Well, I've been a writer my whole life since I could write and read. I've always loved books. I started a podcast in 2018 called Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. And I started out by interviewing one author a week. And then starting when the pandemic hit, I've been interviewing authors 7 days a week. So I have a 365-day-a-year show where every single day I have a new author on and I discuss their books, which is a dream come true for a book lover like me. After interviewing all of these 1,000 plus authors, I've learned so much about the industry, the publishing industry, everything about authors. I've had my own books come out at the same time. I launched 2 anthologies called Moms Don't Have Time to, a quarantine anthology, and Moms Don't Have Time to Have Kids. I launched both of those during the 2021 with essays by authors who had been on my podcast. I had a children's book come out in sorry, there's sirens out here, but I had a children's book come out called Princess Charming from Penguin Kids. And I, along the way, have learned so much about the publishing industry that I started my own publishing company called Zibby Books. And we have books coming out starting next year in 2023. And we also have Zibby Mag, which is now live and is a literary lifestyle destination with essays, lit lifestyle features, classes, community, and so much more. And I also launched my own memoir, which is called Bookends, a Memoir of Love, Loss, and Literature. And that is all of my own life's many plot twists and a real coming of age story of how I found my voice again. So those are some of the things. I also have a podcast network called Zcast, where I've launched other shows. And I have 4 kids myself, so it's very busy.
How do you keep up with all this? It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but I have an amazing team. We have a 15-person team and everyone is A+. It's really awesome and it's taken a little while to get here, but things are running just incredibly smoothly and allowing us to keep expanding.
I love it. And I also received your book. I'm so excited to read it. And would you please tell us more about Bookends and what was your inspiration behind it? I know you said you had your little own stories behind it, but what was the main point? Like, what inspired you to write it?
Well, I've been trying to write a version of this memoir since 2003. And we're talking now in mid-September, and it's very timely because the centerpiece of that was really when I lost my best friend and former roommate on 9/11. I was 25 years old, as was she, and she worked in the North Tower and worked on the floor where the first plane hit. So we believe she was killed instantly, but I guess we'll never know. That completely changed my life. We had lived together all of college. She was my very best friend. We had lived together after college, and I had just left New York 2 weeks prior to go to business school in Boston. So losing her in such a sudden way with no sense of closure and all of that just changed my life forever, changed my view of the world, my view on mortality. I went on to lose several other people in very tragic ways and just kept getting knocked down and trying to get back up again. I should have put that quote at the beginning of my book. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I think anyway, by Chumbawamba. Anyway, it's been a lot. And because of that, I went into a pretty deep, dark place, and books kept me going and got me out of all of that and through that, as they have through everything. I then became a mom, and that was also an identity crisis of sorts because I was used to, sort of excelling in school and always working hard. And then I was just a stay-at-home mom, not just, but then in my head, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this perfectly. So I did that for a while. I stayed home for 11 years and And then I ended up getting divorced, getting back into writing and reading and remembering who I was, and ended up in this love affair, which I write about in Bookends, which is very juicy, with the man who was my tennis pro. And now he's a movie producer with a movie coming out soon called Wildflower, and is wonderful. And now I've started this whole business, and he has Morning Moon Productions, and this union of ours has been just so creatively just explosive, and it's been wonderful. And I've now done all these amazing things, and it's been such a crazy wild ride. So I write all about everything from when I started as a very shy young girl and, needing to really drink to be able to speak in social settings, to where I am now, which is only obviously a midpoint, but at least an inflection point in my own life. So that's really what the book covers.
I love how it turned out for you, but also I'm so sorry for your loss. And it's really devastating to lose a friend, especially best friend, in such a tragedy. Because I remember at that time when it happened, 9/11, I was back in Ukraine. And I remember I got home from school, and it was so crazy because for a whole week, we had nothing on TV. It was just a burning candle, and it was the whole week. Everyone was kind of still devastated about this event, and even like worldwide everyone was so sad and really mourning about it.
Well, my gosh, what's going on in Ukraine now is just unbelievably awful, but I'm so rooting for the Ukrainians, so terrible.
Yeah, I had to bring my family here because they survived the war. My grandma's house split in half, and inside of her apartment, so she was able to survive by a huge miracle. And then I had to go to Germany for months and had to wait for their interviews to be she had visa interviews, and I had to bring them here after, but they're here now with me. So
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's really unthinkable, everything that's going on, but I'm so glad they're okay.
Thank you. And talking about your Zibby Owens media, what do you guys mainly do, and how did you decide to start it?
It's really evolved over time, and it's now becoming this lifestyle brand called Zibby, essentially. So we're doing Zibby books, Zibby magazine, Zibby classes, and excuse me, it's a little embarrassing to have everything centered on my name, but as I am not a self-centered type person in the slightest, but I am using it as a brand. And if you want to be connected with authors and I want to try to bring back the glamour of the publishing world and make authors into the rock stars I believe they are. So that's the impetus for everything under Zibby Owens Media, which I think we're going to transition just to being the Zibby brand, but I'm figuring all that out. And it does include publishing and magazine. It includes a podcast network, classes, and events. We're going to start retreats next year. So it's fun. I'm having a blast.
Wow, that sounds very exciting. And for someone, since you're very, very experienced in this field, for someone who wants to write a book, where they should start, and does it make sense to do self-publishing and just publish it on Amazon, or it makes more sense to go through a publisher?
I self-published a book a while back, which I really wanted just to be a gift to a close friend who was having twins. It was all about surviving having twins. So I self-published that, and I got to see what that was like, which was great. It was immediate. You get it in your hands right away, which is wonderful. So if you have an audience you can market to yourself, or the goal is for a small distribution, or you have such a big network that you don't need a publisher or a distribution network at all, you could do it. I think publishers obviously bring a lot to the table. And not only do they help with distribution into all the bookstores across the country and help with online marketing and help with publicity and all of that, but of course it adds a sense of like a stamp of approval, if you will, that someone has already taken a look at it and decided it was good enough to publish. So that alone, I think, is really worthwhile. But you can certainly make a lot more money self-publishing if you have the marketing skills to get it out there. A lot of getting books to be successful is about the marketing and the publicity and the ability to break through the clutter. I mean, the real issue is there are just too many books and not enough readers, and even the readers are having less and less time reading, or spending less and less time reading. So there's no lack of content. There's so much wonderful content, so many amazing books, and it's very hard to get traction, and it's a shame. But I can't seem to find the solution to this, because people will continue to keep writing amazing books, and I want that. And I think part of it is that authors have to come to terms with the fact that if no matter how many readers they get, that's a great thing. And what they need to do is somehow retain those readers, connect with them, and make them into fans. And I think that is like the secret sauce, but I don't have the answer.
Yeah, I love it. And also, I know you said you went through different stages in your life and you kind of lost yourself and then you found yourself again. What would be advice for women who feel kind of lost, and how they can find themselves again?
Yes.
Themselves.
Well, I hope I really did feel a bit adrift, not a bit. I felt adrift. I felt off course. I felt I was questioning everything. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with myself. And I thought I was just watching all these friends of mine be so successful and thinking like, okay, well, I just like, I'm not going to have that kind of life, I guess, and whatever. But the most important thing is like, today is as good a day as any to totally change that narrative. There is never a too late, ever. It could be today. But the first thing is mindset. It's never too late. And just say that to yourself 1,000 times and mean it, because it's true. We only get one life to live. And it would be a real shame to forego all the doors that might open as a result of your passion by thinking you're too old or you're too out of the loop or whatever. So just toss that whole narrative in the garbage. It's worthless and it's not even true. The second is to figure out what it is you love doing. And I know that sounds ridiculous. And people used to say, yeah, find what you love. And I'm like, that's crazy. But they really mean that. Or I really mean that. It doesn't have to be what's traditionally a job. You don't have to get back into the corporate environment if that's where you started. You don't have to sit at a cubicle to be successful. In fact, that might derail your success if what you really are is an artist, or you love something. I have a family friend who, actually a stepmother of sorts. Actually, I guess she's my mother-in-law. Anyway, she's now, I guess, my stepmother-in-law. It doesn't matter. Anyway, she's wonderful at calligraphy and making beautiful packages and all this stuff. And she was wondering what to do. It turns out now she's doing something else. But I'm like, that is amazing. It's a gift. She's like, well, this is not a job. And I'm like, but it could be a job. You have a knack. It's like hospitality. It's this or that. So all these little things. This friend of my husband's was like, all I really want to do is play Frisbee. And I'm like, well, figure out how to do that. And now, you know what? He's working with a company that makes Frisbees. It's amazing. So you have to figure out not what you like in terms of the things that you do for work or that you think are work, but if you had a free day, what would you do? And it should be something you do on that free day. If it's reading, for me, it's reading. I read all the time. I never thought, I knew obviously that the publishing world existed, but I don't know. I didn't think that I could get into that late in the game. So I created my own thing. And if you're interested in getting into the writing world or writing, anyone can write. You just open up a document, you pick up a pen, you're writing. You can take classes. You can meet other people who are interested in writing. You can start going to festivals and conferences, and just getting involved will help. But even for other jobs, like, it might not be a job at first. Be patient with yourself. But you know what? You weren't doing anything anyway, so you might as well just do it. So go online, start your own website. It's really easy to make a Squarespace website. I should really get them as a sponsor because I talk about them all the time. But it's really easy to start a website. There was a girl I'd pick up yesterday, and she's always so well dressed. And I was like, you should just be a stylist, because I want you to come to my house and just like buy me some clothes because I love everything you buy. And she's like, well, how would I even do that? And I'm like, I could help you. You can make a website, find somebody who has like an audience of women, and I'll post about it. I'll give you. So I think opportunities are out there, but they're definitely not out there if you've shut yourself off to them. It's like nothing's going to fly in the window if the window is closed. If you just crack the window open you'll get more things coming in. And if you throw that window up to the sky and, you know, throw your hands out and say like, I'm welcome to ideas, just wait. When you are looking for them, things come. And it might not be lucrative at first, but if you are doing what you love and you keep doing it and building, something good is going to come of it.
Yeah, I love it. It's so true. Like, we have to be open to opportunities, open-minded to accept whatever can come our way and not limit ourselves on just something we think we can only do certain things.
Exactly.
What are your current top 5 books that everyone should read before?
Oh my goodness. Top 5 books. Okay, mine. Bookends, A Memoir of Love, Loss, and Literature. Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Moynihan. The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. What are some other of my favorites that I always recommend? I really loved Inheritance by Dani Shapiro. And American Dirt, Janine Cummins.
Oh, these are great recommendations. I love it. I should read some of them too. How are you able to rate and categorize so many books? What's your secret?
How am I able to rate them or read them? Rate them?
Rate them and categorize. Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to do anything other than figure out what I like. And my whole podcast and everything is actually the books that appeal to me. So I'm not trying to figure out what's good to everyone. I'm doing the things that, like, would I walk into a bookstore and want to read this? Would I pick it up and want to read more? Is there something I'm really interested about with the author? And if those are all yeses, then I'll at least get a copy of the book to look through. I don't claim to have any secret recipe. I do have a sense of what I like, and I'm also open to things that I haven't read before that sound really original or interesting to me. So, and I have so many authors who I love. I could just wait the rest of my life and read new books by authors I already love. But of course, I love discovering authors too. So I don't really have a system other than being open to learning more about a lot of different books.
I love it. And also, what helped you to build such an incredible brand and business? Did you have any business background, or what was the main?
I do have a business background. I used to work in marketing, advertising, branding for several years. I went to Harvard Business School, which I'm not sure, which that helped theoretically. I've always loved brands. All the jobs I've had have prepared me in all these different ways, from working at an internet startup and helping launch brands and working with those logos all the time, to a branding firm and the design background that I learned there right out of college, to launching the Vera Wang fragrance with Unilever. I've just had all these interesting experiences, which, along with my latent interests, have all just come together in this beautiful way that's making me able to do my job really well. So, and I'm just being me. I mean, when my friend Stacy was killed, I was like, she was killed at her desk. Like, I better be bringing my whole self to my desk. I can't be doing a job that anybody could do. I can't just sit here and take that slot, the marketing manager at this company, to fulfill a function anyone can do. I can't spend my life that way. I have to spend my life bringing whatever unique stuff I have to offer. And I just can't. Life's too short. I just have to do something and give back and all of that. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's totally, even my brand is all about being unique, being yourself, never basic. Don't let anyone to dim your sparkle.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. And what is the best advice you ever received?
The best advice I ever received is from my dad, who said, life is too short to be miserable. So that's it.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And sometimes we do hold on toxic relationships and not unfavorable jobs.
Yes.
Let go.
Very true.
It's enough. I just want to ask, where can our listeners find you, your social handles, all your information?
Thank you. Well, first, and I just want to say at the end now, thank you so much for having me on. It's just so wonderful, and I'm honored to have been selected. They can find me on Instagram at Zibby Owens, and they should go to zibbymag.com, and that will allow them to discover all the amazing things we have going on.
I love it. Thank you so much, Zibby, for being my guest. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.